Hello everyone, and welcome back for another episode of Riven. Now, it's been a while since we've touched this series, and I'm very pleased to be back on it. I've finished a couple of other bits and pieces, so I can really get to grips with finishing this one now. I've finished Dead Space, finished my Pixel Junk playthrough. I'm making some good progress with other things, so we're making some good progress on Riven too. Now, last time we left off, we were looking at the fire marble puzzle, you may remember, and if we just turn around right here, we can see the fire marble puzzle. Now, we've gathered a lot of information so far. We've gathered information about the colours related to the islands. We've discovered that from Survey Island we can see the pattern imprinted on here, you may remember, relates to each island. Okay, so for example, the big one right here I believe is the Dome Island. This one up here is Crater. This one's Survey, perhaps, I think. Let me see. Yes, that's Survey. And then, sorry, this big one down here is the Forest Island, the large island. This one up here is the Dome Island, the one that we're on. And this up here is the fifth island that we have not seen. Now, as you can see so far, we have got only 4 colours on there. And that is, as we know, because the fact that those are the colours that we're able to identify. The fifth one even, is the one that we didn't know until, however, we were down in there, and I think we believe that one to be blue. It's like an educated guess from when we're down in the cave system. Anyway, we need to go and get some more information before we can actually activate this, because although we know the colours pretty much, we don't know which one it's going to be. As I say, when it comes to the colours, basically you can, we need to get back as well, we need to get back to Survey Island right now. I'm just thinking which is going to be the quickest way to get back to Survey Island. I think it's going to be to go around the back and then across to Gen's laboratory. Because the only other way to get there is kind of slightly long-winded way. Our rotating room, however, is not helping us out right here. I think... let's go this way. We'll pass through a few things on the way. So what I'm going to want to do right here, this is going to take us a little bit of time. This is one of the things about Riven, is that it just takes time. You have to have a nice patience with it, because it's just one of those games. Now we need to get to Survey Island, and you may remember this is Survey Island right here. We can take a tram line actually. Yeah, do you know, it's going to be as long as it is short really. So let's go, we'll head back to Forest, and we can grab a tram line across from there. Although in actuality... No. We need to take the maglev car from Crater Island, basically, to get there. So we're going to have to do the frustratingly long-winded way round. But that's okay. It's just Riven. It's all about that. So, one of our favourite puzzles, the rotating room. It loves to take our time. And we're going to need to rotate it, I believe, twice? Maybe once there if we're lucky. I can't even remember. It's difficult for me to remember the layout of these rooms after all this time. And as with most of these older games, people may remember if they haven't seen so far. When I play these old games through, I try to do it as much from memory, and I've been keeping a written journal of this game because you need to in order to basically complete it. So I've got a lot of notes written down here, but because I've taken a little break, I'm just trying to remember kind of exactly the stage we're at in terms of information that we have. So I can review that as we're making our way back. But basically, we've identified all the islands and sort of numbered them. We have figured out pretty much our dome symbols, which you remember are the symbols floating around the power domes, alright? The fire marble domes that have the linking books in. As we unlock those, they give us a symbol, and those symbols relate to the colours. And the reason that we couldn't find basically the 5th colour, we don't know it yet, But as I say, you can make a pretty educated guess, and also it's a 50-50 choice. I mean, there's a very simple way. Once you've identified where the 5th dome is, it's very simple, because you know the position and you only have 2 choices of colours, so you can literally place one in, test it. If it doesn't work, it's the other one, so you know the way it's going to go. And as I remember, I believe it's the blue fire marble. And again, there's nothing kind of mysterious about that. It's just a matter of working it out. Some things in this game are kind of educated guesses. Some are very logical. Some are just given to you. And yeah, this is going to be the quickest route for us. Basically, we unlocked this walkway, which now gives us a nice little speedy route back. And it means that we can take the long walkway right here across back to Gen's Island. So I'll see you there in a moment. Okay, right, now we're heading back over to Crater Island right here. You can actually see why it's called Crater Island from here. This is probably the best view to view the Crater Island from, and you can really see its kind of its depicted shape right here. Okay, over here we see Forest Island. It's not giving us the perfect view. Over here, pretty much right here, is Survey Island, where we actually want to go to, but it's not giving us a very good view. Also, just note, we were talking about the 5th island, and whilst on the map the 5th island seems somewhere that you can see, we really can't see anything around us. There's the Dome Island, and the 5th island you can't see, I believe, from anywhere. It's because Riven has become so unstable that everything keeps breaking up and drifting apart, and it's become, you know, slowly just detached from the other islands, and it's far away, you can't actually see it. I don't know why I'm spinning around in a circle right here. Let's get on. Okay, so we're going through the caves. And we're heading back to Gen's laboratory, and yes, we go through Gen's laboratory so that we can get to the maglev car. In we go. And of course, the other puzzle that we figured, and it's going to be an important stage, because basically once I get this Survey Island section here done, there's going to be one other thing to look at basically before we go back to those fire marbles, and that's going to be something that we discovered a while back in the game, and that was the stone circle room. Now that's a really important thing, but we couldn't use anything in that stone circle room until actually we had discovered all the animals for the symbols for the islands. And there's a good reason why we needed to know those things. First of all, they all had, remember the balls? The balls all around the island, they all had numbers on them. So we needed to know those numbers. Those numbers correlate to specific islands and specific animals on the balls. The animals relate to the stones, which we'll go and look at later. And there's a specific order for them, but we couldn't use that information until we had all of that information. And we discovered last time that the walk, I've just realised something catastrophic, which is that for some reason that they just again decided to install the calling system back up in his bloody laboratory, and we've just walked down here. So I was chatting away. So now we've got to go back to the... I keep missing my lightning bolts. There we go. Right. I think it's inside, isn't it? Yeah. It is inside. This game is so big, even though it's kind of still images, because there's a lot of animation, and this was a PlayStation 1 game, as well as obviously being on the PC. And it's so large to store this information that basically it's across multiple discs, so that's why you saw me earlier when we were making our way over here, it's saying change over to another disc, so you have to change disc between each island. Okay, right, now the car should be there. The funny thing as well is that in the PlayStation 1 version, because each island is basically a disc, there is a kind of intrinsic clue given to you, which is that it kind of, the numbered balls are actually the same numbers as the islands, so each disc in this set is basically telling you, okay, this is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you already know the numbers on the balls, so it's kind of like an extra clue given to you in this version. Right, here's our car system over, so we can now get over to Survey Island. And what we're going to be doing is using the survey tools to locate the domes, and that will specifically relate to the fire marble puzzle. Now, I'll explain a little bit more when we get there, it might be a bit clearer then. Okay, off we go. Now, if you've not had travelled with us before, this is the cable car maglev system between each island and Riven. It's a fast system for getting around. Okay, here we are on Survey Island now, so let's go up to the survey room itself. And I think we can get there just by, yep, walking straight out here. Now, people who've watched this series already will remember the water. Hang on a sec. They'll remember the water-related kind of representations that show the topography of all the islands, and these walk tusks all around here again, typical of Gen's fascination with walks. And we're going to jump on through here. Now here we are, this is the layout, this is part of the main Survey Island layout. We come through this curious cut rock, looks kind of like marble or clay, cut very harshly into the rock. And we're going to go up into this transport system, which will take us up above the rocks, and you can see there one of the water systems is already highlighted, already flowing. So basically, if we go forward right now, okay, here we go, and you remember before that I've mapped out all of this, I've taken all this information down, and it's very much what Riven is all about, is recording information, understanding and being logical in your actions about what it is that you're doing. Now, below us, what we can see is all the islands. Here's Crater Island. No, here's Dome Island, sorry. Here is Forest Island. Am I getting this correct? Here is Crater Island, that's the one up here on the top left. This one over on the right, that's going to be Dome Island. This is Forest, and the one that we're on here is Survey down the left. Now you'll see that this is mapped out below us, okay? This is a little square representation. This is of course the fifth island we haven't seen and we can't see. It's much, much closer than it kind of appears in reality. Now, where have we seen this pattern before? This sort of layout pattern? Well, we've seen it on the fire marble puzzle, alright? These exact layouts are specific to the fire marble puzzle, and remember that we've read through Gen's journal, and in that he's explaining about how the fire marbles power the linking books. So what can we logically figure from that? Well, we can logically understand that the domes which contain the linking books, they need to be powered, alright? We know that the fire marbles power the linking books. So in order for the domes to be powered to get the linking books to work, we need to place the fire marbles in the corresponding positions on the map, the specific map which is the fire marble puzzle. But as we remember, they're all divided into lots of dots, so how do we know where is the right place to place our fire marbles? Well, this is what Survey Island is for. So right now we have the Crater Island highlighted. So if we turn around, and you remember where, this is the kind of interesting one of them all actually. It's probably not the best one to start with, but it's the one that's highlighted already, so I'll go with that. Now basically Crater Island, its dome, its spinning linking book dome, is actually located underground. However, this is taken into consideration. Now, you can see here we've got a rotating device. When I get it to rotate. I think we have to bring it up first. Okay, here we go. And it's actually on the correct one that we want. Now here we can rotate, and you see it shows us a 3D version of what it is that we're looking at. Now this is obviously the crater itself. This is the mountain crater around the edge, and what we're looking for is the location of the dome. Now when we turn this around, okay, now this is relating to the map. Okay, so if you imagine those other pieces placed on here, okay, so what it's showing us is that in the top left corner of the fire marble puzzle, alright, so this is the, out of the quadrants, okay, there's 4 slots, and then those 4 slots are each divided into 5 squares. So if I click on this next 5, okay, it's going to have another 5 squares for that specific island. So we go back, and let's bring it up. So this square right here, okay, that is the location of the dome. That's the linking dome, and that's what we need to find for each island. So I will write this one in on my chart that I've made. So we now know that the fire marble for Crater Island, which if I check my notes, survey orange, crater pink. Okay, so Crater Island is pink, alright? So that should be the one to slot in there. Right, now we just have to go back and do the same job for all of the other islands. Which isn't a very difficult job once you can figure it out. So you see how all the puzzles in Riven are basically just straightforward logic. It's just a process of thinking, and you just have to go through it step by step. Half of the trouble in, the reason why people get stuck in Riven is they overthink things. It's actually incredibly simple. It's very straightforward, but it's just logic. It's just thinking point to point. Okay, this must relate to this, and everything is here for you. Everything is there. You just got to put it all together. Okay, let's do Survey Island next. It's the one that we're on. So we have to click on here, and you'll see how the water pattern changes. There's several things that take a little bit of time in Riven, and this is one of those things. Like I say, it's all a process, it's all a journey, and it's just part of that. It's kind of like Riven is kind of the game equivalent of fishing, I always think. There's no quick way of doing it. You just have to sit and enjoy every aspect of it, including the waiting. If you're an impatient person, this game is not for you. You need to just go with it, just relax. There's no time limits, there's no things coming to get you. It's all just about understanding and working out the story. Which, to be honest, I wish there were more games like that. Even the games that you think are going to do it, they always have to have some kind of dramatic moment which is time-based or time limit-based. And they can't just let you enjoy the story. I always used to really enjoy games like Broken Sword, things that would just have a really great story and not sort of push too much on you. Right, now, you can imagine that from Survey Island, right, this top one right here, okay, there's the actual sort of surveying island itself. Okay, so that's the, we can see here, that's the forward position, that's in front of us, remember, that's the area that we came walking through. So now if we click on the middle one, okay, that's the water-based geography things. Okay, right here we can see, not very clearly, but this here is the area that we're in right now. And right here, this could potentially be our dome. But let's go on to the last button, just see what we got. Okay, again, a bit of a tricky one to see. And here is the dome, okay? So, we are on, yeah, see right there, that's our dome. Let's bring it round again. So we've got 5 lines, and it's on the second line in. Not from that angle though, from the other side. So it's second one in on the right. So turning my thing to match the correct direction, and we're second one on. So I add that to our chart. So that's Survey Island done, that's 2. Just 2 more to go. And remember, even though we haven't seen the 5th island, it's only 1 block, so it should be very, very easy for us to locate that one. Because it's such a small island, the dome is going to be just right on it. It shouldn't be hard for us to find. Okay, let's do forest next. We'll do this large one right here. Forest is going to be a little bit tricky, but if you imagine how it's laid out, that big gap in the middle there represents the kind of where the village is. Okay, where there's that big village with the walk sacrifice pillar and the underwater railway. And then if you imagine from there, okay, over on the left hand side of there, that's going to be the kind of forested area, and then the other side is kind of the bridges, the way you walk down to the beach, and the railway system that takes you across the crater. So this kind of the west southwest area, that's pretty much where we're going to want to be looking at for where the dome is. The dome, as you remember, was on the walkways in the wood itself. So let's go back through. Okay, and here we go. Now we've got a massive space to look at. Again, doesn't really tell us very much. Not many features here at all. It's just a kind of curiously blank space. So let's go down one. We'll just work systematically across. And I think yeah, there we go. Look, you see, they're pretty obvious. Okay, so you couldn't really be confused. So now again, all I'm going to do, it's great having this written down because I can just turn the book to match exactly the position, so I know that I'm getting this right. So it's that square, and it's second in, second up. So mark that down. So that's fire marble done. Just 2 more to go.